Joining us now for more is Dr. Prabhat Jha, epidemiologist at the University of Toronto and St. Michael's Hospital. Dr. Jha, first of all, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today.
Happy to join.
Well, it's great to get your opinion on this because there are many who say that this measure is unnecessary, that it won't really make much of a difference. Do you think it was necessary for Canada to place testing requirements on travelers from China?
I think it's a counterproductive move politically. The science is pretty clear. Travel bans or travel restrictions like this simply don't work. And the science behind it is for reasonably clear reasons. The variants that are currently circulating in China are the same that are circulating here and around the world. That's as far as we can determine. Now, it is true that the onus is on the Chinese government to share more of its own domestic data, including the genomic data on what type of variants are circulating, and also to share the epidemiological data, what's happening with hospitalizations and deaths, to know, has the pandemic peaked? Is it going to peak next week? Is it going to take 2 weeks? And all of that would give not just the Chinese people, but the global community some confidence of what the trajectory of the pandemic is. So, but in response to that lack of transparency, this is quite a boneheaded move, quite to be candid. The US imposed this first, again, not drawn on any science, but probably driven by anti-China sentiment in the Biden administration. And unfortunately, Canada and the UK have followed, but as you showed, the EU has not followed thus far, and is in fact taking the right strategy, which is to engage China, to say, well, vaccines to try to reduce the toll of the pandemic, particularly in the elderly Chinese, are important, and to try to encourage them to be good global citizens and share data. And we have alternatives here. We can test planes for their wastewater. We can expand our genomic testing randomly among all travelers. So we have some alternatives. So this was really an unnecessary move that's put us in a political situation when the virus isn't political. You have to use science to defeat the virus, not politics.
Dr. Jha, I do want to ask you about something that you touched upon there, the fact that the EU is offering free vaccines to China. Can you describe what we know so far about the vaccines that are currently being used in China and how they compare to the ones that the EU could be offering here? What the difference is, what kind of difference it could make as well?
There's subtle differences. First of all, the sense that the Chinese vaccines are not very good. It's just not true. They have about the same effectiveness in infection, 2 doses, as the Western vaccines. That was shown in the Hong Kong outbreak that used the Chinese vaccines. But in the elderly, and there's large numbers of elderly in China, you have to remember, above age 60, there does seem to be a suggestion that the Western vaccines in the elderly might be better, at least as a booster response. So the right strategy for China would be to use, try to get a 3rd dose into as many younger Chinese as possible. But for the elder Chinese, try to get them the Western vaccines as quickly as possible. That would most likely reduce the deaths. But the death total in China is going to be quite huge. Some months ago, I had made a prediction of 1 million deaths in China, and others have done models that suggested about the same number. The Chinese government has reported only 3 deaths, however, so they're not sharing the data in any legitimate way. And this undermines the trust in any trust by the Chinese people, but also trust by other governments. But even with that, the travel ban or the travel testing requirements just are not scientifically warranted.
Okay, we do have to leave it there for the interest of time, but we thank you for yours, Dr. Prabhat Jha,
Sure.
epidemiologist with the University of Toronto and St. Michael's Hospital. A pleasure.